Hi, I want to take a few minutes to introduce you to Jesus, 3 to be exact. But to do that, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. So in the beginning, God made a garden, and he placed man in the middle of it to care for it. And he told them that they could eat anything they wanted from the garden except for the fruit from one specific tree. By chapter 3, they had already messed that up. They had already eaten the fruit. And so God cursed them and he threw them out of the garden. But even then, he had a plan to bring them back to himself. That plan was Jesus, his only son. So skip ahead a couple thousand years. Jesus comes as a baby born to a virgin mother. He lived on the earth as both God and man. He experienced temptation, pain, and sorrow, just like all of us, but he never sinned. By the time he was an adult, he had a ministry, and his ministry lasted about 3 years. He healed the sick, raised the dead, touched lepers, cast out demons, and he really upset the religious leaders. In fact, they didn't believe that he was God's son, and they were so threatened by his message that they had him killed. But they didn't know that that was part of God's plan too. So God knew that people couldn't be good enough on their own so they would need help to get back to him. Remember that promise that he made back in the garden? The penalty for sin or not following God was death. And God's solution was a perfect sacrifice, his son. Jesus knew that too, and he accepted this punishment for all the people that would ever sin. He was beaten, tortured, killed, and humiliated. He died for the sins of people that he didn't even know, and that includes you and me. They put him in a tomb, but he didn't stay there. After 3 days, he came back to life. Over 500 people saw him, and it's been documented in other historical books besides the Bible. He did it all so that we would hear his message, that he was the only way back to God. He taught about loving God and loving others, about being wise and serving, but his most important message was this. In John 3:16, he told us, God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish, but would have everlasting life. And that is the message that you need to know. And that's why you needed to meet Jesus. Share this video for someone else that might need to meet him too. Be blessed.